What's up, everybody? Sorry, give me 2 seconds. What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? So, I'm right where I left off the last time. I did, however, build some sweet Marines. Oh yeah, look at those. I found these really sweet, like, chest torsos I thought were pretty freaking baller. And then shoulder pads, which I thought were sweet, with some heads. So, really looking forward to knocking these guys out. They're going to be freaking top notch. Now, let's get into this. Boom. Alright, here we go. Sweet bronze. There we go. Get this. Let's get this rocking and rolling. Remember how I told you I was like, oh, I don't get frustrated when I paint. Remember how I told you I don't get frustrated? I just got bronze all over my green, like an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Messing around with you here. Well, I do get frustrated because they're white. I freaking hate painting white. You know? But at least I can cut corners because they're dirty. The white scars are like a very clean white. At least that's how I picture them. So when I paint them, it's, oh my goodness, pain in the butt.
Some white scars are kind of dirty.
You seen some?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They have like a logo over it and kind of a little bit dirty.
Are you still doing the Ultramarines? You gonna stick with them? Good on you. What's that? Well, you can paint it really whatever. I mean, it would look cool gold, but I can see someone painting it silver too. Like I said, it's the really main thing I think to stick by when you paint the legions is the color palette. Like, I wouldn't paint the Sons of Horus purple, right? But I think if you want to do the guard silver or bronze or gold or, you know, it's up to you. To kind of stick it with the traditional colors of the Legion, in my opinion.
Not like too crazy, but like not so.
Well, you got to remember, there's still like the Nemesis. I think like the Nemesis chapter, was it a chapter or company? Nemesis armor with blue shoulder pads, and they were destroyers. So I mean, there's alternative ways to paint them, but
Yeah,
yeah. So you could do them like destroyers if you like. If you wanted to go like that, we could change some of the war gear out with some of the bits I have laying around if you like that look. But or you could just do your destroyer units, the black armor, and stick with the blue and the gold and the whites. It's really up to you. The biggest thing is just enjoy what you're painting. Don't overthink it too much. Because then if you overthink it, it's just going to lead to inaction. You're going to get stuck always worrying if you're painting. So it's like just paint, have fun, enjoy it. It's a hobby at the end of the day, you know? It's not like school or anything. We're doing this for fun. You know what I mean? So just that's the important thing to remember. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes, you know? It's okay to make mistakes. Just know that when you do make mistakes, it's easy to fix too. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever painted something that like you can't fix, like you could never fix?
Not really. I've messed up where it's taken a lot of time to fix, but I mean, no, I mean, mostly, like I had a couple of people change like what they wanted, where I had to like take the paint off and, you know, redo it. Yeah, they would change like, well, I charged them for when they changed it because it wasted my time. Yeah, they would change what colors they wanted, or they would change, you know, maybe how they wanted a certain thing done. You know?
Did a lot of people choose?
I've only had it happen twice. You know, but that's why I don't really do commissions anymore.
A lot of people have changed their minds. That would be a lot of money.
No. Definitely not worth the time. But yeah. Did you figure out the blue you can use? Because I have one.
I was thinking I
Yeah.
I need to.
It's called Talisar blue, right? That contrast.
I don't think it would come.
Yeah, let me know which one it is. You help you. What color is it?
I saw like some of these.
Uh.
I think it might be the one you said.
Talisar
Oh, never mind.
or Caldor? Because you could get by with Caldor. I don't know if it looks like it matches whatever the primer is. You know.
Yeah, well, I found a couple of blues. I think it might be this one though.
What's the name of it?
Blue.
Oh yeah, just blue. Yeah, they're good.
Or this one.
A Kellyan? No, that one is a little bit more green than blue.
Oh, like it's
Kind of. Yeah, it won't be a Kellyan. If it is, you might be painting Alpha Legion at that point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so it's cool. I forgot, do you have a lot left to paint?
No, not that much.
A little bit, yeah. Should get the World Eaters cranked out. So I should start working on those World Eaters so we can do Armatura still.
What's that one again?
The campaign we read off. World Eaters and Word Bearers and the Ultramarines. It's that one we played
Yeah.
where I won.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I beat you a couple times, like 3.
Yeah, you have. I'll let you win though, no big deal.
I didn't.
Well, I could have. On the camera, I let her win.
What?
I'm telling everyone. I'll let you win.
Okay.
Oh, man. What's up? What's up?
Nothing. I'm just seeing how, like, light it is. I'm trying to see which one's darker.
Which one are you looking at here?
Oh, they're the same thing. My bad.
You're a ding dong, dude. You're looking at the same color blue. I fixed it. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, I was too high up in my chair. Yeah. Why aren't you on so you can like see what you're doing?
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, nice.
Oh, I'm gonna do that gold. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully you guys are getting your legions painted up, starting to chip away at them. Me and my daughter are currently knocking out some of the legions we got. Let's do it. Oh, fucking funny one. Yeah, I'm good. I'm over here painting off camera like a jackass. Yeah. Oh man.
I was looking at the book.
Yeah.
I saw that this part, it could be white
Which part?
This part, like,
Oh yeah, you can do it like that. I always like a nice brown for the turges.
is that what, oh,
That's what I did for mine.
for the head? Oh, brown.
Yeah, brown.
Okay.
But that's between you. Black would look good, and so would white. White's just... I hate painting white unless I have to.
It's just too much.
No, I just don't like the color. I think it's too bright sometimes. Looking decent. Wham bam bammy right here. Got my Reaper autocannon. I always thought this weapon was the coolest option you could put on stuff, man. The autocannon? The big machine gun?
Oh, that one.
Yeah. You should throw down on a game Friday night. Where? Which one? Yeah, I think you could get away with it. I think a white over it personally, instead of leaving it tan, just because it looks a little odd. But that's just something I would do. It's up to you.
You have a white?
Do I have white? Yeah, man, I got white here. Let me give you one of my grays. Well, I had white.
Because remember you gave me white and then you asked for it back?
No, I never did that.
Yeah, you did.
Never. No, I don't remember that.
You did.
I don't think so. Sounds like a bunch of hooey. Here you go. That's not the one I took, by the way. That's, you know.
There it is.
No,
The other one you shook, that was the one.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
You were misremembering things, dude. No, I remember.
I'm
You're.
not an old lady. I'm like old ladies forget things.
Oh, you think so?
Yep.
At that time, you forgot your lunch
When?
last week.
That was last week. That was like a month ago.
Well, still, you forgot it.
I didn't forget it. We were rushing. So
Oh, we were
technically,
rushing.
It wasn't my fault.
We were rushing. How history has changed. I'm telling you, man, I'm really looking forward to this. You know, I was reading up, and the Ultramarines fought against the Sons of Horus on Moloch, which was kind of right before Horus would enter a portal and ascend into, I guess, whatever you could say he was, like the chosen of the chaos gods. Yeah, so like there was this ancient portal that the Emperor used to kind of go, and it's a kind of a stretch in the book, but Horus goes, oh, this is where the Emperor became a god. And there's this planet called Moloch, and there's a gateway there, and it's rumored that the Emperor made deals with the Chaos Gods for the abilities to create Primarchs, or whatever the whole dealio is. It never really outright says what happened. It was just kind of noted in the book, like, he came there on a ship, and that ship was still there, meaning he teleported somehow back to Earth, leaving the ship behind. And he got that power from the gods of chaos. But it never really outright explains it very well. But my point is since you're doing the Ultramarines, we could kind of try to create a... Oh yeah, it's rumored Toaster Slayer gave him pre-workout, and that's how the Emperor became a god. You know what that reminded me of? That Water Boy. Remember that time Bob Boucher showed up and won the Hat Top show? Oh yeah, that's what that reminded me of. We won the Bourbon Bowl. Toaster, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? You getting them Emperor's children knocked out, I hope? Me and my daughter are knocking out our legions. She's getting the Ultramarines done. I know, yuck. But, you know, can't save all of them. Yeah, it's your fault. You play a bad legion. Huh?
Nothing.
They're your favorite?
Not say that.
I didn't hug you enough. That's the problem.
Should I have done your eyes?
What do you mean?
Should I have done your eyes?
Yeah, the eyes are red. The lenses, I think you get away with red lenses. But yeah, man, that was a good part of the book. So yeah, I was saying we could, since you're doing the Ultramarines, do Moloch, and then I'll just raffle stomp you to the floor with my Sons of Horus.
Don't they like call Earth something different, like another name?
Yeah, they call it Terra, which I believe is Latin for literally ground or dirt.
It is?
I believe so. I have to look it up. Yeah. No, yeah, it is. It's kind of, they borrow a lot of stuff from, oh, can't you go to your kids and say you like word bearers? And, you know, I wish I could. I tried, and she's like, oh, I really like the Ultramarines, Dad. I think they're really cool. Crypt Shadow ruined her.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing, dude.
No. I just said that they look cool because I like the blue.
Yeah, you got bad taste. That's all everyone's saying is just, everyone's saying you got bad taste.
You say they look cool.
When have I ever?
Really?
That is misinformation over here.
Like
I
minutes ago.
did not ever say that. I never said they look cool.
Yeah?
No.
Not a couple minutes ago, maybe.
Like never. You know.
Maybe like a couple days ago.
I think everyone knows that's misinformation. It really is. I probably just didn't want you to feel bad for your bad decision. Playing the Ultramarines is probably one of the worst decisions in your life. You just don't know it yet.
At least they look better than the Sons of Horus. They do. They look way better.
I'm gonna donate you to the nearest orphanage.
They really do.
Lion. What do the kids say? Lion on their name?
Nobody says that.
Oh, they say it all the time.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. I heard. I know the disrespect, right? So she said that the Ultramarines look better than the Sons of Horus. They literally look like blueberries, dude. And their Primarch is lame with his little butter knife in the air.
Well, yours look like grapes.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
The Emperor's children look like grapes. They're purple. Mine look like really cool, awesome.
Nope. Some grapes are green too.
They're not even grape green. I think
Yeah,
it's
they are.
because you have glasses, dude. You can't really see that well. She has like trifocals, guys. They're bad. They're like these big Coke bottle things.
I don't.
It's facts.
You don't.
Yep.
And see that green right there? That.
If you think this is what a grape looks like, you got bad eyes, dude. You need to get new eyes.
No, except for the.
Except for the entire color. It does not look like a grape.
The black.
How's the blue coming? Oh. Boring. That makes sense. We're going to be getting down on a game this Friday. We'll see who wins. Huh.
Look, see, I tried this blue. I'm gonna dry blue. It's kind of close to that.
Yeah, that looks fine. Well, I'm going to show you how to do weathering so it won't look so crazy. Maybe tomorrow I'll bust out the oil pinch and I'll show you like kind of how to do a little bit of it. But you got to wear gloves because I feel like you're going to rub your eye and get mineral spirits in it. Then I'm going to have to listen about how you put mineral spirits in. I send in your DMs a cool Ultramarine Praetor STL for it's like $2 with tax. You don't need to feed this addiction toaster. Feeding. Oh, low key though, that is pretty fucking legit though. Wait, let me see. Oh yeah, that is pretty freaking sweet. Too bad I won't be getting it. It's actually awesome. Alright, let me get it. I'll get it for you. Not because I like it, because I feel bad for you. Yeah, oh yeah, all the times I stomped the Ultramarines into the table, dude. Yeah, that's pity. Wow, Toaster, yeah, that's freaking sweet, dude. Alright, well, I guess I'll have to cave this time. How's everyone doing? You guys got your legions up? What you guys working on today? Toaster, Emperor's Children. What's the sit rep on them? Are they almost done? You crunching out those 20 still? See, another fellow trader person like me. Playing the cool legions, not the lame ones. the books. Can you even read the books? They use some big words in there still. People in your grade are barely reading at a 4th grade level these days.
No, that's not true. I'm actually like what like the
Yep. 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 Prove my point right there. Remember anything I read.
no, honestly like the 3rd smartest one. Maybe even 2nd.
You're really stretching it now.
What do you mean?
Well, we'll see when those report cards come in. Just how smart you are. Heads and pads left. Right on, man. Hell yeah, dude. I got some of the Red Butchers done, and I went ahead. I'm not proud of this, guys, but I got the upgrades for the close combat. Now, you guys might judge me for this, but the one thing I refuse to pay for is $25 for shoulder pads or heads. And Red Warden Miniatures makes this torso that you glue over the top. And I thought, dude, that's freaking sick. It has like the lightning bolts, the Eye of Horus, and then I got the Chthonian mirror coins because I didn't feel like going through the last time and freaking putting them all over everything. And honestly, with the close combat weapon options that are out there now, man, they have some really sweet heads, dude. I freaking love them. Cam on the Sons of Horus. And I guess I should show you my World Eaters really quick, because now that my daughter's doing the Ultramarines, I had to crush her with those guys too. You know, Karn ain't messing around on Armatura. 1 second. Oh, my body. Oh, I'm old.
Yeah, I don't like the tubes on his head like silver.
Huh?
I did like the tubes on his head.
Oh, his helmet? Yeah, that's fine. I'll see why not. Sometimes I do them different colors, but I would do them like that. I think that's good. Alright, so for everybody that is new, I do World Eaters too. I'm not too crazy on it, but I switched from the classic blue and white to the red and white, and I kind of wanted to be kind of like late, you know, Siege of Terra. Oh, dude, the close weapon options kit, it's beautiful, dude. I recommend it like hardcore. You know, for me, I try to keep it like a majority GW, just so that way when I do go and I play at events or anything, I'm proxying everything. And then here is some of my Assault Marines. I had a bunch of old Berserkers, so I took the legs, upgraded the torso, and then I printed these sweet like jetpacks with the butcher's teeth. So, and then I just kept the bolt pistols and the chain axe from the old Berserker kit. But these are some of the ones like I'm really freaking like really feeling about painting. I might even actually knock some out now that I'm here. I hate to say it, you know, I shill for myself on this. But yeah, so I got some of these. And then for anyone else that's new, I guess here's one of the Praetors I did out of the starter set. I still really like this guy. I think he's one of my favorites. Such a really cool freaking Legion, man. There you have like a lot of character, and I really, really freaking enjoy him. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Again, the Predator was super sweet. I really liked it. I really like the Deimos vehicles. I think they look great. Just me and my personal preferences. Oh. Alright, one last Pride and Joy here. And then this is my Leviathan. Oh. I had a lot of fun with the favorite, like, and his name pattern. Is John C. Oh, Crib Shadow. I'm slightly sad, but also, I have to tell you, honey, let me see your Ultramarine so I can show it off.
Not done with it yet.
She's not done with it yet. She still has a little bit to go. But, you know what, Crib Shadow, you ruined my poor kid. Now she plays Ultramarines, and she thinks it's cool, too. So I have to set her straight eventually. He said that was nice. Your kid is a goat. My kid's something already. She's a ding-dong what she is. She got bad taste. Greatest of all time when you're rolling those ones. Yeah, I've seen you roll the ones.
Actually, I'm not sure.
I've seen you.
Oh, roll ones.
Yeah.
I thought you meant grades.
I hope I don't see ones on that report card.
Actually, I'm always rolling 6s.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's leadership test time. When it's time to run, those 6s come out right out of the woodwork. For real though, I've never seen such a young person have cursed hands when it comes to rolling dice. You were born with 0 luck.
Oh, remember that one time where I wore like a 3-leaf clover shirt and I still got bad luck?
Yeah, because 4-leaf clovers, ding dong.
Yeah, it was a 4-leaf.
No, it was a 3-leaf clover. I remember. It was like, where'd you get a 3-leaf clover t-shirt? that was messed up, yeah. Raising that kid, right? We're doing something. I'm trying here. I don't know about the Ultramarines. It's a little sad. Everyone working on you guys getting your heresy stuff done. We got a new edition or some crap coming out of the woodwork. Does anyone know or have any like credible sourcing on what's going on with it? Hey bro, if the Iron Hands and Iron Warriors went full out Legion versus Legion War, who do you think comes out on top? Do they have Ferrus Manus, or is he still kind of lost his head on that one? I hate to say it, dude, but I think Warriors are a bit more brutal. But the Iron Hands have, I don't know. You know, Ferrus Manus left his Legion almost kind of like tribalistic, with just how like he kind of documented everything. Where Petrarabo really raised his Legion to beat the hell out of each other and kind of like stifle the weak. And I'm not a big Iron Warriors fan, but I got to go with the Iron Warriors over the Iron Hands. I'm sorry. What? 3? Put ad block on. The erectile dysfunction head. Dude. Both Primarchs. I don't know. I think, low-key, I think Manus could take Petrarabo. And I know it's a hot take because he has his hammer. But I do think Ferrus mano y mano could take on Petrarabo. But I don't think his Legion could beat the Iron Warriors. I think his Legion's just way too disciplined. And they're brutal, too. I think the Iron Warriors are one of the most brutal, efficient Legions in the Trader's Arsenal. Which is why things kind of go to crap when they back out, you know, of the heresy during the siege. So, that is just my personal opinion. I think Manus would take Petrarabo, but I think his Legion would lose to the Iron Warriors. There are options for you. Talk to your doctor. I don't know if you guys watch like Papa Meat or anything, but I was watching one of his videos about like Ozempic, and he hit it right on the head. It's like there's like this guy walking around in the woods, all this stuff at the end. Like, you might die. You might die. And it's like, dude, no shit. That is like literally the side effects of every medication, and they speed run it too. But ever since I've heard him say that, I just can't. I just can't unsee that. I'm mostly, my bro cool take. What do you think? Who do you think would come out on top? Do you think Ferrus Manus could take the Petrarabos? Also, what do you guys think about Lorgar? You guys think Lorgar has it in him? You think he could have been the arch traitor if he just had a little bit more self-belief in himself? You guys are ridiculous, freaking Toaster Slayer. I should throw my chat up on the screen, huh? I'm over here being selfish, everyone. Oh, that's why I didn't set it up. Chat box at source. With those big glasses, dude, how they hurt?
My glasses are not big.
They're huge, like freaking Coke bottles, man. I was just showing chat. I believe he's good at getting his ass beat by Corvus. Dude. yeah, a little bit. Hey, look, I don't think that the warrior, he has to lead the rebellion. You know? I think that if he had time to sway public opinion to not suck up towards them, I think he could have outdone Horus, dude. Straight up. I think his only setback was that he never ever believed in himself until it was way too late. In which case, yes, he did get smacked down by Horus. I think Manus has it in him, but pretty still took out Angron, dude, to weird writing. I think Legion on Legion, they are kind of even hard to say. Yeah, it's one of those ones where they're very unique. I think that the Iron War brutal, but it's like I said, I really think reading the Primarch book on Petrarabo kind of changed my opinion on his Legion. And I think if anyone's really looking for a place to look into the Iron Warriors, I would almost say, like, go with Petrarabo. But it's really hard because we don't have a lot of information on the Iron Hands a whole lot as a Legion. Really, nowhere near as much as we do towards other ones. Which is, I think, a shame, too. I do think if I was to personally do one, I would do the Iron Hands. I think they look kind of cool. And, not Marduk Sedras. The other guy. The guy from, Tybalt Mar. What the hell is it called? What's his name? Who's the guy that was chasing around the Sons of Horus? Nice. There you go. Are you getting there? You ready for the wash?
Almost. I just need to do 3 more coats of the white.
Okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll help you with the wash and then I'll show you how to layer. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would do the barrel silver, leave the casing red if you like it like that, and then go through and do the plasma green. Here. That coil on top is all plasma, so you could paint that white, the coil, like right here. Sorry about my hand, guys. So that. I would paint that all white and then put that, shake it up real good and put it over and it'll give it a nice glowing effect. It's a nice quick effect, I think. It'll be good. So like I fully teach how to do like the OSL. I feel like they should have the Fulgrim book longer, not for Emperor's Children, but the Flesh Out Ferris. Yeah, I agree. Fulgrim was a really good book, though. I really did enjoy it. I am re-going through everything, so I'm back on the Flight of the Eisenstein. I'm just like how much I missed the first couple times I've gone through it. The Death Guard, I think... I really like the Death Guard, but I don't like the good guys. I really like Ignatius Grulgor, dude. If I was to ever redo the Death Guard, I would probably go like hardcore into the Traitor Take. I almost did it too. I almost went through and just redid the Death Guard. I don't know why. I thought it would be fun. Huh? You can do it silver. Yeah. What's everyone's favorite, like, Legion, I guess? What's everyone doing? I know Toasters is Emperor's Children. I know Crypt is a big Ultramarine person. You know, he really likes them Ultras. I can't blame you. I think Remus Ventarnus is cool, but... I think on the whole, the Ultras are a bit lame. I know. I've told you that to your face. I don't know where you're like, oh my gosh, Dad. The Ultramarines are lame? Yes. And water is wet.
Really?
Yeah. Those are 2 facts.
I didn't know that.
I know. It's that public school education these days you're getting. Sounds like fake news. Coming from you, Crypt Shadow. Coming from you. What do you guys think about all the new Space Wolf stuff coming out, man? I think it offers some really good bits if you're going to convert anything for Space Wolves in the Heresy. I like those new shields that are coming out, those round ones. Are they in the Grey Hunters? I think those look freaking sweet. And the heads. The heads make perfect heads, I think, across the board if you want to do, like, really sweet trade. My Black Legion. Just because they got that beard and that luscious locks looking good, man. What?
The thing, I think that looked too much red, so it's kind of like dripping.
Oh, it's okay. Just let it dry. It'll be fine.
Still looks fine.
Yeah, it's an Ultramarine, and they're gonna melt. What's your least favorite? I'm an Emperor's Children guy, but I found all the new 40k miniatures lacking, and not Slaaneshi enough. No Sonic Dread or even Terminator Choice. I heard that a lot. Look, I am a massive fanatic for Dreads. And I would really like to see the box dreads come back. I personally, I love the World Eaters old box dreadnought. But I think if I had a least favorite, oh man. I hate to say it, but I kind of don't really dig the salamanders. I hate like they're like, oh, we love people. It's like, okay, bro, go be a pacifist, you know? I'm not a big fan of them. I'm glad, you know what? Controversial hot take. I'm glad they got wiped out on Isfahan 5. And then the damnation of Pythos just, oh, dude, crapped all over those those legions in the story. That book was butt. But on a serious note, I think if I had a least favorite, I would say, I think Salamanders are my least favorite. My main legion is Iron Warriors, working on some Sons of Horus as well right now. My homie. Right on. Do you have any recommendations for tips for painting big things like Chaos Knights? Yeah, it depends on what exactly you're looking to go for. I typically will use like a giant brush and just get the paint very, very like thin and apply a couple coats over it, and then I'll go with sponges to give it the highlights rather than going through and edge highlighting everything. Obviously, if you have an airbrush, that would be the way to do it too, but I believe in doing a bunch of thin coats on the paneling and then gluing all the panels onto the frame separately. So I guess I'll repreface that. Paint the panels separate, spray the frame lead belcher, add Nuln Oil, do some dry brushes. You can take snakebite contrast and pick out different bits of metal to kind of give it an accent underneath. And then glue all your plates on when you're done painting them. It'll make it way easier. Use things like sponging to do chipping. And then always start with like a lighter color. So say you do red, right? Let's just throw that out there. Say you hit it with Mephiston. Okay, thanks, son. You could go through and sponge on Fire Dragon, and then over that, I would sponge on Rhinox, and then maybe a little bit to highlight it just a little more, sponge on some Abaddon Black, just to kind of get that diverse chipping. And if you really wanted to go ham, you could underline some white, but that would be how I would do the paneling, just to save time. And then obviously, naturally, if you're looking to like paint a piece, you know, layer, highlight, wash, all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, Sons of Horus are my go-to. I hate to say it. Sons of Horus and Death Guard. I've done both the legions a couple times now, and I am on the fence on whether or not I should do the Death Guard or the Sons of Horus. But I do love them both. I think Blood Angels are okay. I just like painting red, though. So that's my own bias. Yes. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Here, you want a color? Here you go. If nothing comes out, undo the cap and there's probably something on there. But I like that for my basing, golden brown. And then I'll show you with like weathering powders and stuff how to make it look a little powdery. Are you ready for the wash, by the way?
Yeah, I just need to let it dry. And then I'll
Okay. Best Legion. Ultramarines. I thought that was like you had to think about that one. Yeah, I could see how you come to that conclusion. The worst is the Word Bearers. I am inclined to agree with you, but I do think that the Word Bearers have really great characters. I think any author that can write a character where you're like, fuck that guy, I think that's good character development. Everyone I know, even if they like Erebus, hates him. And I think that that's fucking awesome. You only ever see that type of writing with characters like Nagash, and I think that's amazing. You know? Like, Erebus is, I would say Erebus is just this irredeemable sack of shit. And you don't really see that except with like Nagash and like the old world lore. He just did everything he could to be the most unlikable D-bag on the planet. And I love characters like that. I think they're fun. And I think it's like, it can be a plus to a setting. That's how I felt after reading First Heretic. I get it. But yeah, First Heretic was a good book though. I honestly, where the Word Bearers had some redeeming qualities was Know No Fear. Not that I thought they were cool or anything, but just the way that the guy was kind of walking with the Ultramarines down the ship. And he's like, yeah, how crazy would it be? I mean, we hate each other, but we make amends and we're friends. And then next thing you know, he's blowing his head off at I don't know, man. That was just such a great book. And the way they chronicalized it, too, in Know No Fear, where it was like setting the tone for like events that were taking place. That was awesome. And as much as I love the Sons of Horus, they're really cool. I kind of like them apart from Horus. So, like, I'm not a big Horus fan. Late Heresy. I really like Abaddon. And not like 40k Abaddon, but I like Abaddon's character where he's just this warmongering, just crazy ass. And Horus Axiom is awesome. But I think if I had to pick my favorite, it would be probably like Tarek Torgaden. I think he was one of my favorite characters. And Malaghurst. The Twisted. Those are the reasons why I think I like the Sons of Horus. And it paints such a great picture, too, of like a Primarch like Horus and Horus Rising. You really do like him as a leader. You're like, damn, this is cool. You get a really nice look at a Primarch. They look savage. They're fun. You know, just an amazing like pinnacle of lead. By the end of like Galaxy in Flames, you're left with like, oof, dude, that sucks. Who's the cringiest Legion? Dude, straight up. Oh. You know, this is gonna be a hot topic here, but I would have to say that it goes to the word bearers, man. They are cringe. They, I think, always fail to just live up to expectation in my book. And then seeing Erebus kind of like manipulate his way through all the legions and just be a douche and pull favors. Like in Fear to Tread, he's talking with Fabius Bile. And he's like, well, what do you think would happen if I made this aware to other people if you don't give me this Blood Angel gene seed? And it's like kind of a douchey thing, right? But word bearers, and I hate to say it, but salamanders too. I hate that they're all about like humans. When Vulcan's just getting his ass handed to him by Conrad Kurz, he like hates letting the humans suffer. It's like, we get it, dude, but at the end of the day, like, you're in the middle of a galaxy-wide civil war. The world will be fine with a couple less human beings in the entire galaxy, you know? It's one thing I don't like about the salamanders. They're cool in 40k, but they don't really fit with me well, I believe, in the heresy. And also, too, they kind of get their asses handed to them really early on. They're not really, like, very much aware. There's not, like, a lot about them. My forces seemed around the True Sons during the second siege of Chthonia. Nice! Yeah, the siege of Chthonia is such a freaking awesome read. At first, I was a little bit, skeptical of it, because it's like, oh, Varen Asher Hayden and all this. But once you read the lore in the book, it really does turn you into... One thing I will say, though, is, like, Asher Hayden's, like, freaking weapon skill in 2.0 is just unparalleled, dude. For a regular Marine, he's got better weapon skill than some Primarchs. Primarchs are hitting him on freaking 5s. I put in my vote T-Sons. Reading 1,000 Suns was weird for me. I went in supporting T's and trashing Space Wolves, but after reading the book, I flipped. Dude, the 1,000 Suns, I hated Magnus. I think Magnus's character is just so pretentious and arrogant. But I really did like, I did like, it was cool. I really did like it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I thought Ahriman was nice. I thought some of his Legion we had like very unique culture based around it. But one thing I will say is Magnus made me hate the 1,000 Suns. If that makes sense. Just his arrogance was just a step. And then you see him in 40k and he's like such a procrastinator. It's like, what happened to you, bro? I mean, I get they broke him in the shards and stuff, but it's like, man, he really flippy flopped right there. It's looking good, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, when it dries, I'll show you how to do weathering powder. And then we'll touch up some of that blue. And then we'll go through. It looks good, though. I'm really proud of you. My daughter, she's working on this still. It looks good, though. I'm proud of you. It looks nice. I can't wait to clobber them on Friday. Yeah, I think Magnus is just kind of overrated, personally. Give me a bump it, dude. Alright, I love you. Have a good night. Thanks for painting with me. Tomorrow, I'll see you. You gonna paint tomorrow with me? We're all trying to get our legions done. Because I know whatever they do bring out for the next Heresy game, there's been a few rumors I've heard. I've heard Mark IV, I've heard Rapiers, I've heard Mark II. And honestly, like, I would be looking... I'm kind of looking forward to see what they do with whatever they're going with Heresy. I really hope, though, we don't get, like, a brand new edition. I personally, for me, like, hated learning another edition. I feel like I've been in it for a while where, like, it went from 7th to 8th, which was a drastic change, to 9th, which added, like, way more stratagems, to 10th, which was just a completely... See, 1 to 2, we go into it with reactions, and the weapon skill chart changed. It changed just enough to be annoying to where I had to look to make sure I was right. And, that's what I'm saying. I was like, huh, I see potential challenging him first thing in our game. But I think for me, I hope we keep our edition. They just kind of polish it up, maybe fix some things that people had issues with. And even if they don't, I just would like to see them kind of fix, like, certain things. Like, maybe put the weapon profiles in the main rulebook and not the Legion book. That would be nice, having all the rules in, like, one area. Just some quality of life changes, personally. But I'm not really opposed to it. It's like I was saying the other day on my video. I think that we can... I think that some things suck, but it doesn't suck if you're playing with the right group of people, man. My friends and I, we enjoy 4th at 40k, we enjoy 10th at 40k. And I won't lie, I dragged my feet a little bit in 10th edition. And, you know, but with my friends, we just make the best out of it at the end of the day. 2.0 rules were garbage compared to 1.0. The Black Book efforts are not even close to the OG books. I'm sick of Heresy having bad writing. And the kids as of late, Jesus, I'm over monopost figs. Yeah, so... I agree with the 2.0, but where 2.0 did, and I will give credit where it's due with 2.0, I do like the command squads that they implemented in 2.0. I thought that was a lot of fun. I think that there are some things that 2.0 did right, like increasing the Rhino capacity and increasing the Land Raider capacity. That way you can take that 10-man squad and a Praetor. I think that's freaking sweet. The monopose figurines, I'm not going to lie, the tactical squads, again, I have the luxury of printing pieces that kind of allow me to change how they can pose. But the characters do get quite a bit old. One thing I will say, and it's not for everyone, I did bite the bullet and buy the melee weapon upgrade kit. And I'm going to be using it to convert one of those Praetors from the Age of Darkness. And I want to kind of see if I can kind of change the way it looks. It obviously won't be as great as having a monopose captain like we saw, where we could just kind of build a captain and give it whatever weapon system we want and pose him on a rock or pose him on his foot. You know, and I would like to see a return kind of back to that posability in a sense. But I feel like for me, I haven't really been affected by it a whole lot with the monopose because I have a printer and I know it's completely like biased. So, but I can't have an opinion on it. I'm biased because I can print. You know, but again, yeah, I do agree. I do think 1.0 had some better rules. You've got a good opinion because I don't know how I stumbled across your channel, but keep it up. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate it big time, man. I don't know how either. My channel's a bit all over the place. I cover a cryptid here and there. This last week was my mom's birthday, and she's a kid with him, man. Give me freaking heart attacks. But I covered Mothman, and then I ended up looking up, and there's this road called, like, Briar Road, like, 10 minutes away, and there's, like, a werewolf that's on it. So me and the kids are going to go and look to see if we can find a werewolf. I'll probably make a video on it Saturday, but, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of have fun with the channel. I figure it's like YouTube. You got to enjoy it, you know? So, and then old world content, too, plagues my channel a lot. I'm a if you will. I'm actually going through, the Monstrous Arcanum tomorrow, the old 8th edition book. I'm big on 8th edition. I still play the old world, but I stick a lot with the older editions too. But I'm going into Monstrous Arcanum and breaking down the Praeton, since that's getting a model soon, which I'm really jazzed about. So, but yeah, no, the Heresy, it's a lot of fun. It has its ups and downs. It has things that suck with the edition. It has things that the edition did right, but I think the biggest thing that, like, if I could throw my hat in the mix, like, I don't agree with a lot of the rules changes, or I don't like some of the rules changes, but if you have good friends to play with and good homies to enjoy the game with, I think that it smooths over a lot of inconsistent rules that maybe suck to go through. It has no help in tournaments, what I'm saying, or events. But amongst homies or friends, you can proxy or change or work through any type of rule that you have an issue with. You know, I have one friend I play with. We don't use reactions when we're playing. Another guy I play with where we still only play first edition. It's hit or miss. But I think the big thing that I try to do is, like, you know, at the end of the day, I just genuinely enjoy the hobby, like the heresy and stuff. Not like, and I said it in a video, I'm not here to get like a freaking like a membership or whatever people get with GW. I don't give a shit about being sponsored by them. I just I enjoy the hobby for what it is, man. I just enjoy the lore. I enjoy painting. I'm not the best at either of them, but I have, and if I can bring that to someone else on this channel, then that's a win for me. You know? That's a win for me. Even if you play Ultramarines like poor Crypt Shadow up there, you know? One day, yes, he's not aware of it yet, but you know, one day he's gonna be picking up a Traitor Legion, going ham on it, and he's gonna say, "Marcellus Wallace, you was right." I just want better detachments for Heresy. Having a pay-to-use detachment is awful. Are you talking about that Fulgrim transfigured detachment? Because I have to agree with you. That one's pretty rough. That is is unique, and I think like it was pretty freaking like blatant, the shilling that they were doing to get people to shell out for some of that stuff. But yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I think, for me, what I'd like to see is Contemptors going back a little bit. I think, honestly, my issue with it, the 2.0 would be the Contemptors. And I'm sure it's quite a lot. But, oh, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. I think Contemptors are just a bit OP. And every game I play, it literally is just people running their Contemptors at each other and seeing who hits first and who rolls better. And I have an issue with that. Two, I played at a shop and I went up against the Night Lords guy with Prey Sight. We got Night Fight, and then on top of it, he beat my fucking ass. And it was horrible because he could pay for Prey Sight, so Night Fighting didn't bother him not one bit. And it was brutal. It was brutal. So that's one of the crazy things. I do want to see Contemptors kind of go back maybe to having hull points. But it's kind of a messy thing. I know a lot of people are like the jet bikes and the javelins didn't have hover where they could fly over units. The local community was like, that's dumb, let's proxy it. And we kind of fit that. But yeah, no, I agree. I think the detachments are a bit odd. I hate how Auspex works too, because I like personally running the drop pod assault. I like drop pods. I think they're fucking cool. But yeah, it's a little bit rough when everyone has Auspexes. But overall, I mean, it's gotten, I think 2.0 did one thing great, and that was get more people to buy models and get their asses into the Heresy, which has allowed for more games, which I think is fun. But yeah, I think that's something that I really enjoy. You know, with whatever happens with the new Heresy Edition 2, I'm going to end up covering it and going in and dissecting it like I did with 2.0 on stream here. I mean, I think that was one thing I really had a lot of fun with, was going through 2.0 and, you know, getting some games in on the channel. It was fun. I think Horus Heresy comes in tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna convert the crap out of him. He won't be Horus Heresy when I'm done with him. I like making my own Praetors. Name characters are cool and all, don't get me wrong, but I like making my own. Sometimes I have a lot of fun with that. Locally during 1.0. We get 2.0 30 players out now 6 times a year. That's freaking sweet, dude. Yeah, 1.0, it was like, I got into it because my friends were like, hey, dude, you should play Heresy. It's a lot of fun. And I was like, all right, I'll get down on this. And they were the only people I could play with for such a long time. But now it's like, yeah, I can go and get a pickup game if I want at my local, like, friendly local game store, you know? And that's what I think is really nice about it. Sorry about this, guys. My camera. But yeah, no, I've been really enjoying a lot of just painting, I guess, right now. I have to get my stuff to rock and roll. But that's the cool thing. You know, I've seen someone completely do like some sorry. I saw someone do an amazing custom White Scars army here at my local store. It was freaking sweet. So like some good things have come out of it being like super accessible. The only thing, like I said, I think I would change is maybe how weapon skill works, and you know, figuring out something with contemptors or brutal or something along those lines. I will note too that my Solar Auxilia have not seen any games this edition. Not because of lack of like trying. It's just their rules are a little odd, and I personally just have not dusted them off to bring out. So hopefully they figure out what they're gonna do a bit with that, because right now there's a lot of things that just cause instant death, you know. So it's taking Primus Medicaes or whatever the hell they're called. I think it's a Primus Medicae. You're still going to be paying the Pied Piper with those guys. Oh, I just completely forgot to do bronze on like half this guy. That's okay, I'll come back to that right now. Heresy tax. There we go. Get some of that going here. What's everyone's favorite moment? Like, what's their favorite book that led to something that's just memorable for them in the Heresy? I think for me, my favorite part in the book is probably Um, yeah, I really like when Nathaniel Garo's going through kind of like the Medicae where Decius was. And just finds like his skin flopped on the ground and he has to go and hunt him down. I thought that was like a pretty cool part in the book. I mean, it was definitely like you could see like if you could see it almost being like a genre type feel that it did. Like I had like the Thing vibes going with it, you know. I thought that was freaking sweet. I think if I had to pick like a cringiest moment, it would be in Vengeful Spirit when they've brought back like Tarek and he's like Tormageddon and he's like part demon. That was cringe. I was like, oh man, that's horrible. My boy just got done dirty as hell. Tormageddon. A speech from Dorn right before the Battle of Terror stuff. Oh yeah, yeah, that was a good one too. That was. Yeah, I think the Tormageddon one was like the ultimate. I almost died of cringe, and I mean that's in factoring in the damnation of, which my humblest opinion was a pretty not heresy book. You know, a lot of people gave the Siege of Terra kind of some backlash, but I thought it was okay. I thought the Solar War was cool. I thought the end and the death was like it felt like The Hobbit almost, where it's like we need 3 movies to tell The Hobbit, but at the same time too, it's like it wasn't bad. I got like a good amount of painting done listening to all 3 of them, but yeah, I think the Solar War was pretty cool. They did a pretty decent job with it. I think if I had to pick like a hidden gem, dude, it would almost be maybe like the first church or the last church. I think that one was like I already kind of started the Siege of Terra because it's a short. But dude, that short was pretty freaking bomb. Like the Emperor and his dialogue between Uriah, Alether, I thought that was freaking sweet. And the character development on Uriah too was freaking awesome. Yo, Toaster, how's those Emperor's Children coming? You crunching them? Does anyone here get down on 40k? If so, do you play the same army that you would in the Heresy? So, like, if you play Emperor's Children in Heresy, do you play Emperor's Children 40k? And if so, why? go. I think for me with 40k, I have a pretty decent Chaos Undivided army that I do as Black Legion, but I, for some reason, get so sucked into painting the Heresy that I just have not painted maybe as much as I would like to on it. I end up just really liking, I don't know why. I like the way Mark III looks, old and the new, and I like the way Cataphractii Terminators look. I am a sucker for them. So for me, it's like when it's time to go paint like 40k, I'm not a big fan of how the Indomitus Terminator looks. You know, even with the tusk, it's cool, but it just doesn't beat that beautiful Cataphractii plate, you know? Also, I like the options you get in the Heresy a lot too. Like, you got a lot more options for weapons in the Legions and how they play, and I don't know, I enjoy it. Tactical squad's going up to 20. Something I like doing here and there, especially when I Fury the Legion that. Working on a Volkite support squad. Is it good? No, but it's also so cool. I'm doing the same thing. I am going to be doing a heavy support squad of the heavy Volkites. Everyone's like, oh, you got to do the las cannons. You got to do the las cannons. But it's like, dude, I think it's cool that I can microwave blast someone and they explode and deflagrate on their... Volkite is just one of those weapons that's like heresy specific. So if I have a chance to take it, I take it. I built a whole Volkite Kratos just for the meme. You know, I thought that was freaking sweet. Oh, shoot. He's fine. Just a little wipe that up. Volkites, yeah, one of my favorites. I think it was a little sad when they brought Neo Volkite to 40k, personally. Because I just like the fact that it was this like lost piece of just technology that was so dangerous. What is it about Volkite that you think you like the most? And I think the rule of cool is like probably one of the biggest things to play into. It's like power swords on Terminators. Like lightning claws is probably a better, you know, alternative. But I just thought the power swords just look so freaking cool. Even power mauls look freaking sweet, dude. You got this big dude in lumbering armor. And he just comes and unleashes a freaking power maul on your head. I like the look the most. I think Deflagrate is fun as well. Oh, dude, Deflagrate's like one of my biggest draws to that weapon. I just think it's cool. You're like shooting a microwave at somebody, dude, and they're just popping. Very heresy. There we go. Nice. Oh yeah, of course I did this guy bareheaded. Oh, now I gotta paint skin. That's the one thing going through those black books though. They were so rich in lore. I never got a chance to own a bunch of them because by the time I was getting into Heresy 1.0, we had just gone the 7th edition. So like I ended up picking up the red books, and then later on they would drop the rule book when they would go from 7th to 8th. But if I would have known that we were gonna lose those black books, I would have freaking bought them, because now they're like an arm and a leg to get your hands on them nowadays. Like, I have the digital versions, and that's cool, but there's just something about seeing them on the shelf, you know? I wish I would have been able to appreciate the finer things earlier. I think the big reason why, too, it took so long to get into Heresy is because I was gaming at a G-Dubs for a while. And the store manager at the time, really, he wasn't a big fan of anything. And I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but mine didn't like the fact that you couldn't buy it through the store, so you didn't get commission on it. So he didn't really allow people to like come in with Forge World armies or Forge World models or anything that would kind of deduct from his sales. Anytime that someone could say, wow, that looks cool, and then buy it and it didn't support him or like his numbers, he didn't really agree with it too much. But when I stopped going to G-Dubs and I went to a friendly local game store, that's when I started getting into the Heresy like a lot. I was just enamored with all the equipment you could take. The Spartan assault tank. I know that a lot of people say they're not good, but dude, I love Spartans. They look cool. Quad las cannons, count me in. You know, I thought that was freaking sweet. One of the biggest appeals, I won't lie to you guys, was that and the Contemptor Dreadnought and Cataphracti freaking Terminator armor. And Volkite. Freaking Volkite. So those are some of the biggest appeals, I think, to me. But yeah, it's hard to believe that if I would have stuck going to GW, I probably wouldn't have really gotten into the Heresy. Probably until 2.0, personally. But that's the crazy thing, you know. I feel like it really is dependent on the shopkeeper you have if you go to a G-Dubs on what they'll allow or what they won't allow. I mean, the shopkeeper by me now, he allows GW, but I don't really go in there very often. Biggest appeal for me was being able to actually run Iron Warriors with proper artillery. Oh, dude, preach. That was one thing I think I really missed. And I know everyone will kiss the ass of Chaos 3.5, but dude, 3.5 was freaking such a great book for Chaos in terms of flavor. I'm trying to see if I have it here. Oh, no, I have the Eye of Terra book. But that was like... Is it? Oh, no, it's the Eye of Terra, damn it. Well, I guess I'll show it here. These books were just like prime time what it was like to be in the hobby back in the day, and I really did. The Eye of Terra book was cool. 3.5 was great. I think in the back of this book we have rules for the Lost and the Damned. I think I know, and it gave me such cool, unique ways to convert it. Acadian shock troops I thought was cool. Yeah, the Lost and the Damned. And I actually just ran this list against a buddy of mine not too long ago, against his Tyranids. He absolutely chewed through me. But I think in more big mutants against him and have fun with it. But Yeah, a lot of fun stuff back then, and I think that's one thing why I really liked Heresy is it felt like a Legion again, right? Like when you put your models on the table, it feels like that. And then on top of it too, Heresy really excelled in taking a game where it's like, okay, everything has essentially the same equipment, but it all plays just differently enough to feel like its own Legion, which I thought was just awesome. I guess while we're in here, let's go take a look. Oh yeah, the mutants, dude. The orc warriors and the orc boys have just always been like a big crux when it comes to converting. And I think this one's like my favorite. They took the old aspiring champion heads and the orc head and glued them together. Just freaking metal as hell. And I think they have Wolfen in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, somewhere in here there's Wolfen. Oh, here we go. Abaddon. Abaddon, oof, looking rough for our boy over there. Oh yeah, here's how they did it. So for any Space Wolves peeps, yeah, the Wolfen is freaking cool. It's like I said, they had such like, I don't know, maybe sometimes I lament like the olden days. I feel like it was like, oh, so much simpler or so much cooler, but then you open up the book and you're like, yeah, this is night and day different from like a lot of the stuff you see nowadays with 10th edition. And I'm not saying here to pick fights or say 10th edition's this or that, but I do really miss, I think, the older days of the hobby. Be around for it, you know? And I'm glad I still get to enjoy it. I guess I should preface that. Where the hell is my gold? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I think in, what, 3.5 they were able to take, was it Medusas? Yeah. Basilisks. Pretty cool. And I think they got an extra heavy support choice back then, too, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. I go through and do those stupid handles now, damn it. There we go. Oh, I love jet bikes too. I think that's another thing. The Javelin and jet bike are some freaking awesome minis. You know, I think one series I'm going to go through eventually is the Badab War. I have the Imperial Armor books to go through it. So it'll be nice to kind of revisit it, maybe play through it with a couple buddies. For that, I do unfortunately play the good guys. I take on the Red Scorpions. Oh, do it, dude. Get in on it if you can. It's a lot of fun. The rules are fantastic. The setting's great. You know, Luft Huron and the Astral Claws are really... Scorpions are able to upgrade their sergeants to apothecaries. And I always thought that was just such a cool thing to do and convert. So I mean, I personally get down on the red scorpions. Oh, Minotaurs are so fucking sweet, dude. Agenda to go through on the Tyrant talks and pull it out. Maybe I'll do that this week. I'll pull out one of the books and go over it and talk about just what's so damn cool about them, because they are such a treasure trove of not only lore, but you really get the inspiration for the Horus Heresy when you open up, I think, you know, the Badab War. You kind of see where Alan Bly would go and, you know, run off with this idea of the Horus Heresy. It was just fantastic and well done, you know. So yeah, the Badab War was freaking awesome. If you get a chance to do an escalation, I would say do it. Get in there. Minotaurs are freaking cool. Their color scheme's dope. The only thing that sucks is like you can't get the kid Chapter Master. Oh no. Ooh. Thought I almost hit the models with my freaking paintbrush, had gold on it. Oof, that would have been a boo-boo. Yeah, I think purple would be nice to do their handles in. Do a royal purple. I feel like swords are kind of a royalty thing. There's that. Bam. There it is. When did you get into the Horus Heresy? What brought you into it? What edition was it? How long have you been in the hobby, too? Yeah, that purple's gonna be a nice little contrast right there. Oh yeah, dude. I think what next week I gotta do my Go Trick and Felix for Demon Slayer. I gotta get working on that script. And there we go. There it is. forget to do that part silver. Oh, man. I swear I've painted models before. Go. Hello, Mayo. Let me see. Played the 4th and 5th box sets with a buddy in high school. Started seriously playing when Dark Vengeance came out, so that was 6th. Got interested in Heresy shortly before Betrayal at Calth. Sadly, it just never picked up here. Did like one game at 700 points. Oof, that sucks, dude. Yeah. Betrayal at Calth was such a fantastic set. The Contemptor, you know, kind of sucked a little bit. It wasn't, you know, probably the best Contemptor, but it was one of my very first Contemptors I ever got to paint, and for that I was grateful. But yeah, I think Betrayal at Calth made it kind of accessible, but with, like I said, a lot of GWs, even if you bought the Betrayal at Calth, they weren't really cool with you playing the freaking game. I don't know what the hell they thought. Like, they released this dope box set, and then freaking we're like, oh yeah, well, we thought you were going to use the actual board game out of it, not the Heresy rules. It's like, why would I do that? Maybe I should do Heresy WS? White Scars? Do it! You have to do it all jet bike, dude. It's mandatory. Yeah, that would have been freaking sweet. Well, it's like, you would have thought they would have done something like that, like a mini rule book, but someone at the local G-Dubs I was at was like, this isn't meant to be the Heresy. It's meant to be the game that's inside of it, Betrayal at Calth. You know, like the cards and like, it's almost a little bit like Kill Team, I'd say. They were for some reason under this illusion that it wasn't the Horus Heresy, which I thought was just like very tone deaf. Because everyone I knew freaking bought that thing and ran it for Horus Heresy. Oh, sorry for hitting that mic. My bad. Get the skin done, then we're going to go through and do the bases and then start weathering the crap out of these bad... Not the crap. They're not going to look like Death Guard. Alright, they're going to look alright. A little bit of streaking. A little bit of pin streaks and stuff like that. I think it'll look nice. If I do say so myself. So lately I've been slowly like moving. Oh wait. The Contemptor was fine. Oh yeah. It was that and Prospero, right? Yeah, they did the Burning at Prospero, which I ended up getting down on because I was doing a Death Guard at the time. Forge World sold bundles that included it. I know, dude. Where you could buy like the upgrade torsos and stuff. Make it make sense. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that was back. Oh, I don't know why. I love those days. I feel like they were a bundle of a Legion. I think the Death Guard one came with like Callus, Typhon, Grave Wardens, and then some of those, what was it? I think it was Mark III with the upgraded torsos and heads. And, dude, that was my stuff right there. That, and then when they came out with the Leviathan bundle, the triple Leviathans, I got that. And that cemented me in the Heresy. Recasters sell the bundle still? Good on them, dude. Someone's got to keep it alive. Has there been any reliable rumors going around of like what the new set is going to have in it? Have we heard anything? Because I've heard some people try to tell me, but then it's like, I'll ask like, where'd you hear that? And then they don't really know. Or they'll say, oh, I heard it on Reddit. But is there anything going on? I feel like even Heresy Thursdays have been taking a back seat at the big G-Dubs. Before I talk out my ass, let me double check. Someone will post a comment later on and tell me about it, and I'll feel like an idiot here. So let me see. I don't think the Warhammer community has had anything, though. Go Warhammer Community Home. There's a new knight coming out. That's cool-ish. Horus Heresy. Yeah, the last thing we got was what? April 3rd? And that was a Tarantula missile battery. Interesting. Oh yeah, they have what, Iron Warriors and Salamanders in there, right? Heard Valrak say Salamanders with rapiers. Now I do like my rapiers. I hope that they leave every option in there. I'm not cynical, all right. I say that as I'm about to be fucking cynical, but I could totally see them releasing rapiers with the heavy bolter, and then you have to buy a rapier upgrade kit, freaking like a year down the line with like the quad launcher and the other stuff. I just call me what you will, shiesty about it, dude. You know, it will be 2 boxes for sure. Yeah, yeah. Like the other tanks, yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, like even just like our assault marines, it's like, dude, we finally got those, and it's still like almost the end of Heresy 2. Low key, one thing I have is a Demons of the Runestorm army, and I'm still waiting on that book, dude. It's like, come on, man, it's converted. I use tree people. Really want to do Cygnus where they did like all the stop sign monsters and demons. I thought that was sweet, but I refuse to like invest any more into my Demons of the Runestorm until I see a book for it. You get half of a rapier, pay to play. Yeah, dude. You only get 1 crew member. If you want to shoot better, you're gonna need to buy that other crew member in the upgrade bundle. It's like with the Contemptors, everyone wants the Volkite. At least everyone I knew wanted Volkite, and then they freaking paywalled that in like the Contemptor upgrade. It's like, come on, man. You know that's what everyone wanted. Everyone wanted that sweet Volkite freaking Colvarin, and then you paywall it behind a upgrade box set. And don't get me wrong, I would 3D print stuff, but it's like, at the same time, too, the dimensions don't always come out right. And there is like a simplicity for me, considering like my entire Death Guard army was resin. So like, everything be resin or printed. I like having stuff plastic because I'm a clumsy fucking person, and when I drop something, which I inevitably do, like, you know, I don't like seeing it shatter into a bajillion pieces. Yeah, it's just me, my own little 2 cents on, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna start doing the bases while I wait for the face to dry. Oh, dude, this dark golden brown is like Steel Legion drab, but more of it. Pro Acryl I shill for, man. Not only do they get my orders to me on time, I've never had like an issue where it's came in and been wrong, and everything's always packed like fucking fantastically, and their colors are just top notch, man. So I'm gonna try something I don't really do. I have found these Imperial armor painting guides on the internets for weathering powders and stuff, and how like Forge World paint. So I'm gonna try and do the bases kind of like how they did, and see if I like it. I have, if you want Mark IV, you would need a Warhammer Plus account. What? Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were being serious. Space Marine 3. I can't believe they're already coming out with Space Marine 3. I thought Space Marine 2 just dropped, you know? Not like it's bad or anything, that the game's fun, but I don't know. I was hoping to maybe be able to convert my Chaos guys a little bit more than I'm able to. Like I said, man, I'm like an arch heretic, dude. I don't mess with the good guys. I only roll traitors in just about everything. Even in freaking Old World, I'm over here rolling with Tamarkhan, the Maggot Lord, just freaking slaughtering people. Which I'm still doing Zambai Jin, so I just had to slowly start buying a couple more things for the terrain. It's just a lack of post-launch content. Yeah. Just lack of yeah. I wonder what they're going to do, though, because like I said, the last Heresy article we have is, what, April 3rd? Saturday pre-orders. They did pre-orders where it showed night. So I don't know. It would be nice to kind of start seeing some more Heresy updates coming around. I don't know why they go hard on the Heresy stuff and then they stop. And I don't know why they do that for. When is the next show? What do you mean? The Dallas Open Reveal Show on the 22nd. Well, there we go. So I guess the Dallas Open Reveal Show on the 22nd. Well, that is cool, but also kind of sucks because still a bit of ways away. I'm going to be covering it either way. Like I said, I know a lot of people have a sour taste. I did too for a little bit, but I don't know. I'm going to cover it and see what it's about. And then I'm going to get into the rules and dive into it. And we'll all go through it together and kind of look at it and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Just like we did with Heresy too. So get in there and dissect the rules and have fun. Lotara got posted on eBay today. Dude, I'm not trying to be rude. As a World Eater player, how the hell did we get Lotara before we got a freaking Praetor, dude? That pissed me off. I have been waiting for a World Eater Praetor since first fucking edition, dude. And I just do not get it. You know? So sad. Oh yeah, that would be cool. That would be sweet. Like I said, I would have been happy to see myself get a regular Praetor for the World Eaters first. I feel like it's cool, but I've converted card already once or twice. And it just never really looks the way I'd like it to. And then I have like the generic like resin Praetors I've done, but I don't know. It would be nice to see them actually do a World Eater one, like specific dedicated World Eater Praetor with a butcher's nail option, head, and everything. Maybe some twin Phalanx blades. Oh, I know. Dude, yeah, the Iron Warriors needed that too, dude. There's a lot of legions that still need a little bit of that love. So I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in the hope with the World Eater Praetor. Hopefully it comes out. It looks super cool. You know, honestly, it doesn't need to be crazy. Some Phalanx blades, some Butcher's nails, looking pretty brutal. I guess they had Indrid Har, right? He was a freaking World Eater. I've seen some people do some awesome conversions for Karn out of that guy. Oh, dude, yeah. Well, you can't buy both of them, right? Like you have to go to Warhammer World to get one over in the UK. What, that Sons of Horus? I know. I can't talk because it's like the Sons of Horus are like one of my main legions I get down on. And I was treated like a king, but even like with that, it just got to the point where I was feeling a little guilty. All the releases I was getting, you know, for the Sons of Horus, you know. It was nice seeing the Death Guard get the Praetors. I thought they were okay. Really beefy, but I mean, I guess it's in line with, you know, the Death Guard in that sense. Luckily, there is a British guy in the local group that goes home a few times a year. That's awesome, dude. Send him back with some cash to pick one up. The one at the Warhammer World is a cool looking Warsmith, though. I mean, I really do think it's freaking sweet. I like that one a lot. I think his pose is dope. Oh no. Dang it. Yeah, I wiped it off. Fixed. See, that's freaking sweet. You know, I wonder kind of how they're going to do it moving forward, too. I wonder if they're going to put new characters in the set. Hopefully. This is a hope. I don't know if it's true, but if we get Praetors in that set, I'd like to see them be like, you know, able to be kind of equipped any which way. Kind of like the old Captain models were back in the day where You had all these options and you could deck your own captain out, make him look sweet as hell. That would be cool. I'm open to see what happens. I almost thought of betraying everything I stood for and doing some Blood Angels, but then I came back to my senses. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man, it would be freaking what's up. I would get down on it hard. And I feel like that's just what everyone's been kind of asking is like, come on, just give us the ability to kind of build our own HQ the way we want. You know? I mean, I know that, you know, people are always like, oh, the heresy community's always asking for this and that, but I don't think it'd be too hard just to release like one Praetor kit and then you build it however the hell you want. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool personally. I made a commission where the guy made that Ultramarine Praetor is making... Oh, that's freaking sweet, dude. That's awesome. Julius Caesar on. How could you? You should have done Solomon, dude. That would have been freaking savage. Yeah, like, oh yeah, dude, yeah. If they're going mono pose on the HQs, at least throw us a bone with an apothecary and tech marine as well. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm with you. Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, I'm telling you, man, Solomon, he's like the underrated homie of the Emperor's Children, dude. And just got done so dirty. He was just, yeah, they screwed him, dude. Honestly, I think Emperor have some of the coolest Tartarus Terminators. I think their Phoenix Terminators are just absolutely astounding. And they aged well for being one of the older Terminator kits. Yeah, I think that if I did the Emperor's Children, I would stick with the Mark 6 and just go ham on jet bikes. I don't know why. I want to do a jet bike Legion, but I don't want to do like the traditional ones. Like I know if I do White Scars, they're all about their jet bikes, but I don't know. I feel like Emperor's Children could really pull off a whole jet bike formation and do it just awesome. Like jet bikes and javelins. I would get absolutely bodied at like any type of event, but it would look sweet as hell on the table. It was like someone asked me, they're like, why are you doing Legion Terminators with power swords? I was like, because they look cool. Like, if I want to go into something where, like, I need to, like, try hard, I'll just bust out my Justarian with Thunder Hammers, dude, and go there. You know, those guys have survivability on their side. I'm painting these because they look like, you know, fun, and I kind of want to take them in fun games. I always felt it was odd how all the Sons of Horus characters had swords, and then their go-to weapons, a Carsaurus on Power Axe. It's like, dude, Abaddon, sword. Horus Aximan, Gaiden, I think he rolled with a sword. Loken, chainsword. You know what I mean? And then it's like, then we get Power Axe. Like, why is that the option we got? I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong. It just, you know, why? There we go. Okay, got a little bit on there. We're going to go through with the weathering powder. So I'm going to try it out like they did in the Forge World, like, painting guide book that they have. And they have some really cool stuff in here. But I've never tried, like, applying the weathering powder just really wet to the base and then, like, in the cracks of the armor. And I kind of want to give it a swing and see how it comes out. I just gotta wait for that to dry. Because I think I gotta go through mineral spirits and, what the hell is it? Clear coat or varnish. So, there will be that. Let's kind of go in here, though. See what we got. See if I can pull it up here. My drive. See if I can pull up the painting guides here. Sorry guys, I'm still getting over being sick. That shit sucked. Oh dude, look at this sweet banner topper I found too. I was like, man, that is just Sons of Horus to boot. You gotta get down on that. The despoilers are going to be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to do despoilers. I always ended up just doing tactical marines out of the convenience for it. Oh, sorry about that. All right, here we go. Let me see if it's in this one. Alright, add window capture. Doing duck die. Yeah, and duck die are okay. Doing duck die with the world eaters. I think they're fucking sweet and thematic. With the Sons of Horus, I like to pretend that, you know, I still got the good ones. Here we go. Alright, here we go. So, yeah. So this has been what I'm trying to get down on. I've always really liked how Forge World's painted. I think sometimes their paint jobs are a little ass. But you can't go wrong with how they do their weathering. I think they do a pretty decent job. They're doing all the hatches and stuff. God, man, I got to get on this level when I do my sick rinse. Are you doing any inducti there, Toaster? Commando khaki. God, these old paints. Mixes. Yeah, so the thinner can be water, white spirits, or acrylic paint thinner. Once the pigment was flicked onto the model while still wet, it can be further blended and manipulated with an extra thinner. Yeah. So this to do through some of the armor as well as my tanks for sure. I want to go a little bit more weathered. Oh yeah, no, not at all. Inducti aren't too bad. I like I said, I think the spoilers are a little bit cooler. If I was to do Inducti, I would go Mark 6 and just do beakies and no upgrades to them because I feel like, you know, with their lore, it just makes a little bit more sense. I went through and put the torsos and the heads and shoulder pads on these guys, so I figured just go in, make them despoilers. That's freaking sweet. Oh, they're old brass transfers. I miss those. The brass etch. Yeah. A little bit of sponging, yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, these books are always like a wealth of knowledge. I really like them. I feel like a lot of times people like will pitch painting classes and stuff, and that's great. Good on them, you know. Like, but I feel like a lot of time you could find a lot of the information in these old books too. Like there was someone I had teach me how to do weathering on like old style tanks, like make them look like World War One and put sandbags on them and stuff, or World War Two. And then come to find out, it's just in this book. I have brass edge for EC. I just make molds of them. But yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the smart way to do it. I had brass edge for Death Guard and Chaos, and I did not do that. I just glued it on there, and I regret it. And one of those things you take for granted, at least I did, I always thought they'd be around. You know, because it just seemed like such like a no-brainer. What a good thing. Oh, sorry. What a good thing to have in your arsenal of like hobby, you know, these brass edge icons. They were always selling out, and I don't know. The Krieg. Oh, that's cool. The chain. Yeah, those colors are beautiful too. Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm telling you, the cami netting. Oh, this is cool. I'm actually doing something like this while I do Zan by Jin for Tamarcon. Trying to go through and make a little display of like destroyed buildings and stuff that I can make modular. Damn, mind sharing that PDF? I got lots of tanks to build and zero inspiration. Yeah, no problem. Let me get my Discord and just toss it up in here. Yeah, here we go. It has to be that way. I see how it is. It's going to make me physically go in. Alright, we got this. Boom. Go to view your channel. Live. It has to be that way. Do. Alright, here we go. It's going to make me physically go in. Oh, what the heck? We got this. Discord. Boom. Go to view your channel. Live. Why is it doing that? Dumb. Alright, here we go. It's gonna make me physically. Oh, what the heck? Discord. Boom. Go to view your channel. Live. Why is it doing that? Dumb. Alright, here we go. What the heck? Discord. Alright, now it should be. Why is it doing Oh, that's why. Stupid. Alright, here we go. If you guys want to hop in here, bam, bam. Right, you go ahead, hop in that Discord, and then I will probably upload them there. There you go. Alright, here we go. If you guys want to hop in here, bam, bam. You go ahead, hop in that Discord, and then I will probably upload them there. There you go. Alright, here we go. If you guys want to hop in here, bam, bam. You go ahead, hop in that Discord, and then I will... Show subscription. Oh, here we go. You guys want to hop in here, bam, bam. You go ahead, hop in that Discord, and then I will... All right, there we go. Shows. All right, there we go. I confirm I'm not a robot. Why the hell would I be a freaking robot? Sweet. All right. Dude, stop flying around on my thing. Here we go. And then bam. I confirm I'm not a robot. Why the hell would I be a freaking robot? Yeah, so there they are. They're in the sweet. All right. Painting guides tab, so if you want to get down on that. Also, let me get one thing here. Boom, boom. Here we go. Bam. So. So there we go. Good to go. Yep. Help yourselves. Get in there. Get it while the getting's good. Remnant of Chaos, how have you been? So, yeah, it's in there. Get it while it's hot, naturally. Yeah, I know, right? What's the point of it? Well, yeah. Well, there we go. Boom. So if you want that, it's in my Discord painting guide section. If I find anything else, I'll upload it in there. So there we go. Bam. And here I am. So, it's still wet. All right, I'll do the face while I'm waiting. It's going to take a while for it to dry. Sweet. How are y'all doing tonight? Lucky Lou, how are you? Doing fairly well. Thank you for asking. What are you guys working on? Everyone working on their legions, hopefully, getting that stuff done. I'm going to pretend like we all are. There we go. I'm just waiting on bases to dry and face to dry, so that's pretty much it. And then I'm trying to figure out if I got a bad sculpt or a Farsight, or if I'm just high on Tamiya fumes. Throw it up in the Discord and let's check. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a book real quick. Show off tomorrow's video. So, before I go, sorry, I had a little piece of paintbrush in my mouth. Anyone here play Old World or Fantasy? Or are we all Heresy homies? And with that, I'll be right back. I'm new to the 40k scene. I haven't played any other lines from GW. Well, allow me to convince you to pick up on that Old World life. These are some Plague Ogres I just knocked out. Well, not just, but I just got done magnetizing them on their tray. A little bit of see upside down action there. A little fucking nervous doing that. These guys are freaking sweet. TamraCon has been going well. I do both Old World and Heresy on the channel. So that's something I'm just always been about. Even since Fantasy's been dead, I've still found it in me to find a way to incorporate it on the channel. Oh. And then my pride and joy here. I think I show this off every chance I get. I don't have anyone else to show it to. No one cares. But that's old TamraCon right there. The big boy. Oh, love it. I repurposed the top to be a little bit more menacing. But yeah, he's been a blast. Been collecting about a year, so started with Combat Patrol and been working my way up. There you go. There you go. Everyone starts somewhere, man. Yeah. Whew. This guy's been a lot of fun. I recently broke down his book on the channel of TamraCon. Really enjoyed it. I did the lore too, but I'll probably have to revisit it. But for tomorrow's video, I figure while I'm waiting for this to dry, for tomorrow's video, I'll be covering like the old school Monstrous Arcanum. Going through, yeah, he's a big chonker. It's the 5th time you showed me this. I know, right? That's me. That is me. But I'll be going through, I think the Monstrous Arcanum, talking a little bit about it on tomorrow's video. And then Thursday, I'm dropping a little video on the Praeton for anyone that still plays 8th edition, just because we don't have the rules out yet. Window capture. Where the hell is it? Here we go. Done. Oh, what the hell? I know what it is. I know what I did wrong. Let's go to image. Browse. Desktop. Here we go. Done. Yeah, check that. Made that little bad boy for any gives a crap. A lot of fun. We obviously don't know what he's going to do in the old world yet, which sucks, but makes sense. He hasn't had like anything really drop or alert us to anything. If I had to guess, I imagine we'd see something probably like close order on him, maybe fly 10, fly 8. He's going to have some sort of I don't want to say talents, but he'll probably have some sort of attack that's like AP2, you know, multiple wounds. It'll be pretty decent. But this guy's a badass. I really do like the imagery of him. So I look forward to kind of covering it. Oh, it's Deathwing. Get out of here. World of Warcraft. They stole Deathwing from this book. Thank you. I'm just kidding. I'm being an idiot. But dude, I didn't know this until I was like really diving into it again. The Necrofex Colossus is in here, and it's really crazy because they never really did the Vampire Coast justice until like what was it, 6th edition that they did it in a White Dwarf. I have the rules somewhere. I don't want to talk out of my ass, but the Necrofex Colossus is fucking sweet. Yeah, here it is. And I had completely forgotten they've even given this thing rules. I thought it was just in Total War Warhammer. But yeah, apparently there was a couple. You could do the Nightmare Colossus or the Corpse Giant. And, you know, pretty freaking sweet. 500 points for the big boy, you know, worth. I thought it was fucking awesome. The Brood Horror. Then it has, of course, like this whole page, like a Primarch of just special rules and crap that it does. But yeah, this book was beautiful. Really added to a lot of Storm of Magic. For those that play Tomb Kings, the Chimeric Titan made its way in here. It would never get a model, but oh, beautiful. Some of the stuff in here, it's a shame it never got supported. The Dread Saurian, the Rogue Idol of Gork, or possibly Mork. Yeah. Skin wolves. The shard dragon. The mare worms in here. That just came out with the high elves. It's looking pretty nice. The Praeton. I just popped that bad boy up. The Arcane Phoenix. Fucking sweet. A Warpfire Dragon. It's already out. Magma Dragon. I wonder if they're going to re-release that. And then you had a slew of like really cool freaking like scenarios you could get down on. These were really awesome supplements to 8th edition. They really did add a lot of fun. The Dragon's Egg was a fun one. Yeah. Yeah, this added just so much fun ways to play so many fun ways to play the game. The Haunted Manor. Really awesome. And look at that art of the Praeton over here just being just a giant G. Apparently just pillaging freaking Bretonia. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into this with you guys. Probably tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever I finish editing the video. And then going into the Praeton. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a huge sucker for 8th edition and Old World and 1st edition Heresy. I don't know. They were just a lot of fun. I think it just triggers my nostalgia just a little too much, personally. But what can I say? It's a passion. Just kidding. Sniff my books. Low key, though, I won't lie. Sometimes when I get a new book, I'll sniff it. Well, everything is still wet. Not freaking cool. And I have a dehumidifier down here, too. It's like, man, what are you even doing over there? Not dehumidifying, that's a fact. Wow. How was your walk there, Crypt Shadow? Are you walking off the fact? Are you over the Ultramarines yet or no? Can I convert you to the good way of chaos? No, not yet. One day, dude. One day I'll get you. When you least expect it, you'll be like, wow, I walked by a store today. I bought a bunch of Chaos Space Marines. I'm going to say, I know. Funny how that works. You've seen the way. Maybe I'll start working on the face again. I don't think you're going to find many people looking to join the greater good over here. More of the greater evil. Nothing wrong with Tau. I just, I get down on being the bad guy. I think that's where I excel. I've been battling really hard to not do freaking Night Lords, man. Right on. Right on. That's cool. What is your 2,000 point list, if you don't mind me asking? Oof. I'm down to hear about it. I just started giving 10th edition a try. I've been playing Chaos Space Marines for like the last, I don't know, decade. And I was like, I'll give 10th a try and see how it's going. It's okay. It's not bad. I've been enjoying it here and there. I wouldn't say I prefer it over everything, but, it's fun to get down on. The greater good is coming to you from my bolt gun, Dawn of War. That's funny, dude. Oof. Too stark of a highlight there. It's okay. Make it work. It's Shadow Sun, Farsight, Cold Star Commander, Enforcer Commander, 4 squads of Crisis Suits, 3 squads Stealth Suits, 2 Broadside, 2 Ghost Kill, 2 Riptides. You know, I always think of that song, the Riptide song. Oh my god. How the hell did it... I've forgotten it. You know, there's that song Riptide. It's in my head. That's all. There we go. Try my freaking... Yeah. The love song. No. The Riptide. I believe in dancing in the dark. Oh, all my friends are turning green. Oh, I'm not going to embarrass myself. Baby, running down to the riptide, taking my way to the dark side. You know that song? I love you when you're singing this song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're going to get the words wrong. Yeah, sorry. I hate singing. At least in front of people. I'll do it in the shower when no one's paying attention to me. Closest thing to mushroom fifer that you've ever seen. Oh. Speaking of my music, where the hell is it? A little bit of a purple wash. Alright, I got it. And I'm very disappointed in GW. I've started buying up some Thousand Suns for my next army. And a new announcement brought a Thousand Suns robot. I never want to paint another robot again. Well, you're in luck. I was not a big fan of those robots. I don't try to talk bad about nothing because I know it has like subjective opinions on what they like or don't like. But dude, those Thousand Suns robots, between you and me, were not the greatest things on the planet. Closest thing to Musha Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Yeah, that one. Posted progress. Need to clean my desk, LMAO. Let me see. Let me get up in there. Oh, looking good. Looking good. XO, I'm digging it. Toaster. God, looking sexy. It's the beautiful Emperor's children, man. They are looking good. There it is. Looking pretty freaking savvy. Well, that is a pain in the ass. Maybe I will just do the rim. And then I think that's going to be it for today. I have to wait for this stupid thing to dry so I can do my oils and stuff. And then I have to clear coat it. But everybody, I will be back on at the same time again tomorrow because I am trying to get Heresy back breathing fresh air again on the channel. So hopefully you guys enjoy the hobbying with me. I appreciate you guys all showing up to kind of chill with me. You know, I know this kind of, you know, it's nice to get the plastic painted and knocked out. There will be a change to the schedule due to Mother's Day, so I probably won't be on Mother's Day because I won't be home. Yeah, I really like their old, like, XV88 brown. I thought that was cool. They had a really cool old school scheme. Someone did Tau in, like, this military green, and I think 5th edition or 4th edition rule book. They had a really cool color scheme. My house is getting fumigated. That sucks. Yeah, maybe... Yeah, let me see. Go grab that real quick. Closest thing to mushroom fire that you. I gotta pack all this shit in plastic bag. Dude, that sucks, man. Are you gonna be out all week? Are you gonna be able to get down on some hobby tomorrow? Oh, and then Friday, I'm going to go look for the freaking, what the hell is it called? The Briar Roads Werewolf with my daughter. Make a video about that for Saturday for the lulz and the memes. We do like all the haunted stuff. We went and we saw some semi-haunted. I got the crap scared out of me by a frog. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. So I'll have to edit that into a video eventually when I get around to it. It took a while because I was like gonna mess with my sister-in-law and put like some stuff in there because she's like really always spooked about it and say, oh my god, look what the camera picked up. And then because I did that, it made me just procrastinate the entire project. But yeah, I was gonna like put something in there to mess with her a little bit. Well, that's about the Tyranid invasion. They're already gone, dude. They'll be fumigated all right for the virus bombardment. So if you guys like cryptids or anything, I did a Mothman video. I'll be doing the Briarwoods Werewolf. If you guys have any suggestions too, I think the La Llorona's up on the docket too. I had a couple people ask me for that one. So, I try to do those now. I'm going to do those on Saturday just for kind of fun. You know, my family likes watching them. I like making them too. It breaks up just doing Warhammer all the time. And then I think next week I'm doing a video on Paradise Lost. It's actually like a poem book about Satan turning from God. But it has a lot of stuff that I think writers borrowed from the Heresy. And I'm going to draw some parallels and kind of talk about some of those ideas. So, if any of that crap is stuff you're interested in, go give me like a sub on the old YouTubes. And, you know, with all that crap, hit the bell icon, you know, all that fucking nonsense. Mostly just show up if you're interested in it. Oh yeah, you're toast, dude. Virus bombard the freaking planet, dude. You're pretty much like pulling a Horus, man. Betraying your peeps. But it's the Ultramarines, man. They had it coming. But yeah, so that'll be like that. And I believe Saturday will be the 2 days I don't stream due to Mother's Day. So I'll update my schedule on Twitch, and then I'll post that same schedule on YouTube here, so we can kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. But I hope you guys were able to get some hobbying done, because obviously that's the important thing here. I want to start slowly chipping out why aren't Imperial Fists getting wiped out, because they're amazing. At least like 2 times better than the Ultramarines, dude. Those are facts. They got the Black Templars. Sorry. If the Ultramarines had something cool, I would give it to them, dude. Maybe the Emperor's size. They're kind of alright. I think they're kind of cool, but you know, they're not Black Templars cool. Don't lie. You know, the Imperial Fists have the Black Templars. You know, what do the Ultramarines have? Gulliman? I'd take Lionel Johnson over Gulliman. The Emperor Spears. I don't even know who they are. They're not Black Templars, that's for sure. Look, I ain't trying to hurt the feelings here, Crypt. I just think the Black Templars are dope. They just so happen to be the Imperial Fist. I think Sigismund was cool. You know? I'm okay. I'm going to pass on that one. I'm going to pass on the Emperor Spears there. The Silver Templars. Yeah, more like the Stormcast Eternals. We know. We know. The Stormcast Eternals. Dude, no, they are not. They're just way cooler, dude. You know? I think that's the thing, man. You're just jealous. You picked the wrong Legion, dude. Everyone does it. I messed up once in a while. I did, you know. I'm not proud to admit this, but I did do the Word Bearers one time. I was all about that Erebus model when it dropped. Yep. It's the Sigmarines, dude. We all know the best faction are the Khan's children, the old Zoomy Scars. Yeah, I would double that down with you, Lucky Lou. If only the White Scars had a character, I don't know, on a Zoomy Zoo. I feel like they're always on their foot. Let me Google all the Ultramarine successors and then post them on here and we'll tell you which ones we've heard of. None of them. They're old news, dude. The only cool one is Astro Claws. There we go. That's a homie right there. Honestly, dude, the Red Corsairs were cool. Dude, that's been a rumor since like freaking 5th edition, dude. They're gonna get a bike character one of these days. Chakotay Khan. Not even he got a bike. They did him dirty, man. They did him dirty. I'm telling you, man. The Khan not getting a jet bike, huge missed opportunity. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you're not wrong. The rumors told us we were getting Thousand Suns robots. They didn't really quite explain what those look like. Alright, I gotta look at this. Let me see here. Honestly, the voice is getting better. Ashmedai, how are you? I got done doing some Sons of Horus. And I had to build a bunch of this crap to get it kind of ready for streams because I don't want to be building on stream and boring everyone to death even more. And then I talked about kind of going through the Monstrous Arcanum tomorrow for my channel. So we're going to be diving into the Monstrous Arcanum in a video. And then kind of going through the Praeton one of these days and kind of tackling through whichever monsters people want to kind of see in this bad boy. So, not the traditional blue and gold. Very weird looking for the Dusty Boys. Yeah, yep. It's like I said, we'll see what happens. I don't think that, you know, it can only go up for the Scars. All right, they don't have a bite character as it is. Sucks to suck. To be fair, the Emperor's children didn't get their bite character back either. Oh man, my throat. Chaplain on bike. Yeah, it's generic though. I mean, you could take it for sure in White Scars. Could probably convert it too. I don't know. Are you able to take upgrades like that anymore? I have to look. I don't think you can in 10th edition. You have to just take the character as is, right? Soon, lucky. Yeah, dude, yes. You gotta field that Mario Kart buggy. Yeah, dude, that thing, the ATV of death. That's funny. Dude, yeah, I'm pretty jazzed for it. I think we got a really... Hopefully we got a decent thing coming out. I want to start doing a little bit of 40K on the channel here and there. But I have a lot to kind of catch up on in terms of painting. So like the main thing, like I say in my videos, is probably going to be knocking out the rest of the Sons of Horus and putting a pin in them, and then jumping over to either the Chaos Space Marines and having you guys help me pick a color scheme to go with, because I am dying of indecision on that. Like, part of me is like, do the Black Legion, but it's just such a boring color scheme, you know? And I like Abaddon. I think he's cool, but I'd rather do him for the Sons of Horus than do him in 40k. Not for any other reason other than, like, I don't know. I thought about doing the, not Word Bearers, the Red Corsairs. So it's like between them and Night Lords. I don't know. I really do hope the rumors are true. Yeah, me too. Me too. Apparently Imperial Fist, Army character, a remade Salamanders and Raven Guard character, and a Bite character for White Scars. Right on. That would be cool. I think that would be pretty nice. My only question is, man, where's the Dark Eldar in all this, dude? I have been dying to do Dark Eldar for a long time. And I tell myself, when they get their range refresh, I'm going to do them. But I don't think they've gotten a range refresh in quite a while. Dead. Yeah, they are dead, dude. I'm pretty sure Slanesh got their souls, because I don't remember. Let me see when the last time... What do they got that's new? Lilith Hesperex, right? That's the last new model they got. From Forge World. Yeah. Yeah, I should have, huh? Warhammer 40k. Xenos. I guess I'll share my window capture here. And then Drukari, I think that's what they're called, right? And then, yeah, Lilith Hesperex was the last time they got, I think, an update here. No, I don't need a video capture. Alright, let's see what we got here. Yeah, it looks like Lilith Hesperex is like the last thing that got redone. And her old model was cool, but I don't mind it. Wasn't the kill team more recent? Where is the kill team? Yeah, I always tell myself, like, dude, one of these days I'm going to get down on these. The hell? 190 bones? That thing better be fucking, like, massive. Yeah. Yeah, the Hand of Archon. Yeah, I think that's the last thing that got redone, right? Get a Tantalus. I'm not touching these until I see some hardcore shit getting redone, dude. I love the way that they are. I think their lore is kind of cool. Honestly, the hard thing for me is just like picking them over the Dark Elves, dude. I mean, the Dark Elves are fucking cool, man. Malice Darkblade. Say no to Darkblade. Oh, you can't, because he's fucking sweet. You know what I mean? The only thing that sucks is you gotta city as a Sigmar, and then pass all that to get to the good stuff here. Yeah, dude, you can't go wrong with some good old Cold One Riders, dude. I got Malice Darkblade around here somewhere, too. I gotta paint him. Tariffs are gonna kill me. No new Warhammer for me for a while. Yeah, I think the tariffs are gonna kill a little bit of everybody. La China. Yeah, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Cold Ones are where to go. I think if I ever did them, I would do the Dark Elves. They're a little bit more assholes, though, too, in the lore. I always have loved the Black Art Corsairs, and now that they're up on 25s instead of 20s, they're going to rank up so much nicer, too. Such a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, the old world's been a lot of fun. I'm really happy the old world kind of came back. It's been a lot of fun. A lot more in line with, I think, 6th edition. I'm seeing bills from people getting their bills, and goddamn. Yeah, dude, it's a bit rough. I mean, What can you do? You know what I mean? I don't know. It sucks. We'll have to see. Hopefully, freaking things mellow out, but we'll see what happens. You know? I should visit. Yeah, you're not wrong. The repeater crossbows. I've always liked... Where the hell are they? The executioners always looked really freaking sweet. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it's between them or the Drukhari, I don't know. I just feel like the Dark Elves are just a little bit more my style. A little bit more vicious. Huge missed opportunity. Tamarkan didn't come back. Just saying. Greatest Chaos Lord in the history of Chaos. Even though he died. Oh, don't you be playing that with me there, Crypt Shadow, over here naming off all these successor chapters no one's ever heard of. What about the Spears of Goleman? Who are they? I'm just messing around. Armies of Chaos. New Death Guard? What did the Death Guard get that's... Oh, yeah, that guy. Slave Knight Gale. It looks like he has his sword, right? Gale's Slave Knight Gale's sword. But the whole, like, Skaven skin leather backpack exploding thing's a bit odd to me. What leak? Where do you find all these leaks, Crypt Shadow? How are you so efficient at leaks, dude? I need you to spill the beans and share me your sources. It was a while ago. No, that sounds about right. I'm always day late, dollar fucking short when it comes to this stuff. The Death Guard have, like, the most full range, I think, of all the Chaos. Minus, like, obviously Undivided. Also, what the hell is up with these dice? Pink? Like, they had the resin left over from the Emperor's Children. They're like, we just gotta use the pink resin and put some skulls on there. I don't know. Big miss on that one. I had a lot of free time. Dude, you're right. I should get rid of my kids. Just kidding. Death Guard have an insane lineup. Oh, they do. They do. They got a lot of love, I think, when they came out in 8th edition. It's always a shame. I'm a World Eaters dude, like, through and through. But, yeah, I don't know. It's been a little rough for my boys here. You know, I like the old Berserker Bikers, personally. They've been, like, one of my favorite from, like, the 3.5 book. I was hoping they would make a return, but instead we got, like, Derpty Derp McGee over here, the freaking 8-bound. Where is that thing? Yeah, the possessed 8-bound guy. Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. There's a conclusion to it. I do believe that Lorgar, had he been able to overcome his self-doubt, he would have far surpassed Horus in terms of being the War Master. A lot of people have came in and told me, well, Tyrant, you know, no one liked him. But the problem is they put themselves on this artificial time frame when Horus kind of took over. And if you look at, like I said, with Isfahan, Horus really created the time crunch. He made everything kind of have to go. Where if Lorgar would have just believed in himself a little bit, he would have been a better War Master. He would have been able to, I think, take the Imperium. He would have definitely turned the legions against each other. He would have had more legionnaires on his side. And I think he would have orchestrated the whole heresy a lot better. So yeah, Lorgar, in my opinion, greater than Horus. But Horus was a better Primarch. Goleman was better as a War Master there, Crypt Shadow. You sure? It's a little traitorous for your kind of talk. A little traitorous going on over there. You didn't watch the who could have been a better War Master video I dropped. But no, I guess I could throw Goleman in for the running on the next one. It's a hot take, but like I said, there's a lot of things that Lorgar had going against him. He was a little bit weaker than his brothers. He wasn't well liked. But a lot of people sit there and they say, well, Horus was the best pick. Okay. I don't disagree that if we go off the time frame we had for the heresy, yeah, but I think if Lorgar would have been able to play it cool, I think he would have had his brothers pull him in. And I think he would have been able to pull more people, and he would have had to prove himself. It would have taken a bit longer. But it wouldn't have to be this massive time crunch that we end up getting from Horus. Horus really botched his crusade. And it shows in Galaxy in Flames, right? He's going through, and he couldn't even equate for Angron planet falling and just slaughtering the Loyalist forces. Which, huge miss on Horus's part. And that, to me, cements him kind of as kind of a fuck up in terms of betraying. He was so busy sticking it to the Emperor that he ends up losing a fat chunk of his forces. And while, yes, he had other people turn to him, it didn't really help the fact that he really fumbled that whole beginning part of the betrayal. And then the way he kind of goes around and you see him in Vengeful Spirit, take his power on Moloch. It takes... I think that Lorgar would have manipulated chaos better than Horus did. I think Lorgar would have maintained his soul a little bit more. Corferin and Erebus, no. I think that they were too busy fulfilling their own destiny at that point. I think Erebus was full of himself. So, we notice this a lot in, I think, the captains, right? The captains tend to mirror or exacerbate the traits, or have the opposite trait. For Magnus, he was very arrogant, where Ahriman was a little bit more reserved and he had a little bit more action. And what about this? Abaddon was this blood-hungry killer, but Horus was the charismatic war leader. And Erebus was utterly self-confident in himself, but Lorgar had no trust in his own capabilities. And that is the whole reason that I was predicating an argument on is, it was self-doubt that cost Chaos the war, because Lorgar, when he went into the warp, he had, I think, everything at his fingertips, but just failed to rise to the occasion and stand up and fill the shoes that he could have been meant to fill. Where Lorgar and Corferin were utterly self-confident, they fumbled a lot. You know what I mean? They maybe were a bit headstrong, or when Erebus goes to turn Sanguinius, Lorgar already knows Sanguinius is never going to turn. He goes, with tears in his eyes and hatred in his heart, Sanguinius is going to stand there on the wall. And, Erebus really believed he could turn Sanguinius, but Erebus wasn't able to account for Horus's jealousy and lack of self-confidence to be able to still be War Master, even if his brother Sanguinius did betray. So Horus undercut Erebus and went to Kabanda and said, kill his ass. And that's kind of why Sanguinius, I think, never really had the chance to become a traitor. Maybe if Erebus had his plan go 100%, there would have been a hope. But because Horus was, again, lacking self-confidence in himself, he chose to make a deal with Kabanda, undercut Erebus's deal, and try to kill him. So I think, yes, while Lorgar had a lot going against him, if Lorgar would have came through ironclad out of the warp, pulled the strings, convinced people like Luther, some of the captains in the Blood Angel, I forgot their names off the top of my head, to kind of succumb to the Black Rage. He could have manipulated and pulled the strings a little more to be a lot more divisive on the whole across the board with all the Primarchs. And he could have still gotten rid of Horus with the Anathema and let the Sons of Horus just dwindle at the loss of their Primarch. And they would have, because they really, I think, were codependent on Horus, which is why they made the whole pact on Davin in the first place, right? I think that there's an argument to be made that Lorgar, had he not been so utterly incompetent in himself and be a little bit weaker, I think he could have taken it. Could Chaos not have won or neutralized the Emperor by Magnus destroying the Webway project? Here's the thing. Magnus destroying the Webway project, could Chaos have won? I don't think, not in the way they could have with Lorgar taking the helm. And because you got to remember, the warp kind of feeds off all this emotion, right? And all this crap going on. Lorgar knew that. That's why he sacrificed the 500 worlds, why he burned everything, why they sacrificed their own legion the way they did, because they knew that emotion and actions carried into the warp. And I think that that fueled chaos more than if Magnus would have just neutralized the Webway project. Lorgar knew how to feed chaos its power, where Horus, even by the end of the heresy, kind of had it a little bit down, but he pledged his entire soul to the Pantheon and lost himself. Essentially, he was a slave to the chaos gods. Where Lorgar, I think, would have managed it a little bit like Abaddon. He would have known when to take, when not to take. And by the time Lorgar was utterly confident in himself in Slaves to Darkness, Horus whooped his ass and banished him from the fucking siege. Which, I mean, it was a day late, dollar short. Lorgar realized his potential way too late. And I think that's one of the coolest things about the setting is it's like the one asshole who started everything wasn't even there to see his father's kingdom just get destroyed. It's a funny thing. I think it would have been kind of cool to see Lorgar maybe follow that path that we see like biblically through Satan, where he turns from God and raises half the galaxy against the Emperor and goes ham. That would have been, I would have loved to see that, but obviously we didn't get that story. They are a crab bucket. Each of the gods will sacrifice their communal standing to see the leader get pulled back into check. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't disagree. I still think, though, and I stand by it, that if Lorgar didn't have self-doubt, he would have been fine and would have done a better job at War Master. Horus was in such a rush to prove himself that he let Garo, he had his Primarchs not be thorough enough. Garo slips away, brings word to the Eisenstein. Now the clock's ticking. He has to get the legions the hell out of Dodge, like the Blood Angels, the Ultramarines. He has to waste a legion like the Night Lords, fucking around with the First Legion, with Lionel Johnson, the Dark Angels. You know, I do think Lorgar could have pulled the strings a little better than Horus did. I think Horus was in such a rush to unshackle himself from his father and say, yes, let's do this, that mistakes happened, you know. And again, like I said, Isfahan 3 was a really big blunder for him. Not only did the Loyalists really fuck them up, but, you know, there was a chance for him to fill the shoes of a War Master that's betraying the Emperor. And I noted it in the video when Abaddon was like, blow up Angron, disloyalty shall not be tolerated. I think he should have destroyed Angron and just destroyed the entire planet, lost the Primarch, and made an example out of him and said, this is how we're going to do it. Angron was a liability the entire heresy, even when the Word Bearers were going through the 500 worlds. Angron's planet falling on every planet. And yeah, he becomes, you know, a demon Primarch, but I mean, who cares? Angron kind of sucks, you know? And I'm a World Eaters player, and I feel that way. Angron, you know, really delayed a lot of the plans. And I think also, too, was just kind of an idiot, you know? I don't even know why the Empire let that man lead. Angron's story just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's not meant to be that deep, I think. Like, don't get me wrong, the lore is something I suck myself into and I like think about a lot, but it's meant to provide us a basis to make war and play on the tabletop and make video games and stuff like that. I think Angron, in any real setting of the Emperor, he would have just persecuted that fool. I mean, there's already 2 Primarchs that were completely erased, right? Where the hell where the hell are they? What did they do that Angron didn't do during the heresy, right? He turned against the Emperor. Yeah, that's the point, though. I think Horus, if he wanted to be a real War Master of Chaos, would have just destroyed Angron and killed him. He would have seen him for the liability he was, became cold and embittered, and just killed Angron and took his legion, and made an example about him to every single other Primarch under his banner. And no one else would have blamed him. Even Magnus is like, his own sons wouldn't miss him. So, I mean, yeah, I guess there's a point. But, I mean, Angron, you know, we didn't need him. You know what I mean? And if Horus really wanted to fill those shoes of being a war master and the arch traitor, he should have destroyed Angron and killed him. He was useless to a degree where he was more of a detriment than a benefit, you know? He could have pimped out his sons, Angron's sons, and put little units within each Traitor Legion and had them as a specific goal and dropped them on a planet and said, fuck it, if they die, they die. But, you know, the ones that Horus really relied on, things like Mortarion and his sons, Petrarabo, those guys, they were kind of like the loyal G's to the end. And, you know, at the end of the entire heresy, you just kind of see all of them really lose faith in Horus. Are the Alpha Legion loyalists? No, I don't think so. It's hard to say because naturally some people will say, hey, they betrayed to stop, you know, the Imperium from winning because chaos would burn itself out and it would be good. I think that if there was ever a plan in Alfarius's head, it got ruined the second Dorn killed him. You know what I mean? I think in 40k, the Alpha Legion, they're not like the Night Lords where they shun, you know, at least I haven't read anything that said differently from when I did read about them in 6th, 7th, and 5th, even 3.5. They have mutations. They have issues. They're not like the Night Lords where they shun these mutations. So, no, I do believe that they are, on the whole, traitors, but maybe there are some elements that stayed loyal. But I think they're very ambiguous. I think that maybe Alfarius had great intentions, but when he died, they were out the window. And I think on the whole, the Alpha Legion is a traitor legion for sure. What I say there is nasty is, you know, the Emperor's Children or the World Eaters or even Death Guard. Like, no, they're still undivided. But I do think they're on the whole against the Imperium. Yeah, not against Chaos as much. But I mean, in 40k, who isn't against, you know, the traitor legions? I mean, they have the whole Legion Wars. They practically hunt the Sons of Horus down to almost extinction until Abaddon comes back. So, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, I think, personally. I think Alfarius had a plan, and when Dorn killed him, that was the end of that one. You know? So, I'm more interested to see, you know, what the Night Lords go after getting through their trilogy and Talos and all that. I would be interested to see, you know, where they take that development, if the Legion does bind back together, if they become this big threat to the Eldar and stuff. You know, it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Alpha Legion are all right. I still think they're traitors. That's just my own personal opinion, though. What do you think? Do you guys think the Alpha Legion are just misguided, trying to kill the Imperium off so that way chaos can fizzle out? I don't think that that's even a case now in 40k with, like, Abaddon. You know, thanks for the insight. Looking forward to what you do with Tamarkan. Dude, yeah, Zambai Jin is on the corner. I just posted some Imperial Armor guides in the Discord, but they kind of go through how to make, like, terrains and scenery. So I'm going to be kind of using that to make modular terrain for Zambai Jin. And then I found the Realm of Battle board I had. It's like the old plastic one. And I'm going to try and kind of get that in line for it. Tamarkan himself is coming out good. The Plague Ogres, I don't know if anyone caught it, but we got that beauty. Oh, yeah, my fucking stupid ass. Here. We got these guys done. They're magnetized. And sometime, if you're in the fantasy, sometime this week, I'm going to be dropping a video on the Arcanum, the Monstrous of Arcanums, and going into the Praeton and what it did in 8th edition, and speculating what it's going to do in the Old World. So, just my thing. I want to eventually cover a good chunk of the monsters in here, maybe, like, look at them, look at where they were, maybe start porting stuff over. I want to start bringing some of the flavor over to the Old World. Yeah, oh, dude, yeah, I'm all about that chaos life, dude. You know what I mean? If it's not traders in Old World, Heresy, or 40k, I don't do nothing with them. So, but yeah, I want to start porting over these old rules, start getting some of the stuff drafted up that's not done. I was working on the Vampire Coast rules, and then I found that someone else did them, and they did such a great job on them that I have nothing more to add to it. So I have recently reached out to them to see if they would be cool maybe coming on and talking about how they built the list and what their inspirations were, but I haven't heard. Lee Man Roos, how the hell are you? Hope you're doing good. Lucky, do not fall to chaos. You need to. Don't listen to Crypt Shadow. He's secretly a traitor. He was just sitting there arguing about the best War Master being Gulliman, so. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. You caught me at the tail end of this one, man. But I'll be back on tomorrow. My stream schedule is going to be back to normal, 8:30 to midnight. I'm still waiting on these stupid bases to dry, they're just still wet. So that's freaking great. But yeah, so I'm going to be going into the Monstrous Arcanum and kind of porting over some of the monsters from there. I love big monsters. It's always been my thing. I think they make the game fun. Even in 8th edition when cannonballs just kind of killed them outright, I still ran a shitload of them. You already made it. Yep. Talbot Chaos God. I'm all into it. Yeah, man. Come on over. There's room for Tau. I'm sure everyone would be cool with that. Yeah, so... yeah, a lot of really cool stuff. Like the Chaos Siege Giant. It wouldn't be hard to sit there. I'm thinking about trying to go through in CAD and maybe make like the upgrade armor plates for the current Giant. So that way we can just kind of glue it on. But I'm still making myself familiar in Blender. I'm not... I can make shoulder pads and stuff, but going through and making like entire bits that will fit on right on a Giant is going to be a bit of a time crunch for me for a while. Last night I started converting another Dark Angel Praetor with 40k Lion's winged helm. He'll look super dapper. And I'm going to use 40k Lion's hooded helm on a company veteran body for a paladin of the... dude, I hate that word. Hecatana Sticka. Those words in that book piss me off, man. Hecatanistica and the freaking all that other stuff they have. I made some tactical squads for the Sons of Horus. I used some of the new close combat stuff that they offer. I guess I'll zoom in here. Some of the new close combat stuff that they offer in that sprue. Really like a Hecatanistica. Yeah, that word. So yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing out the despoilers. They're really awesome. I found some upgraded torso that you could glue over the plastic one that has like the Eye of Horus and the lightning bolts, and I was like, dude, I'm doing it. So I did it. So, but yeah, so that's everything I got on the agenda. I'm going to Briar Road to anyone that missed this, and I'm going to be looking for the Briar Road Werewolf. It'll be live this Saturday. And then I'll be talking about Bachelor's Grove Cemetery and my trip there. So my daughter and I are looking for cryptids on top of doing Heresy and Old World. So, but yeah, does anyone have any questions for me before I close out here on this stream? I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. You guys are freaking awesome. Hopefully we were able to get some hobbying in. Every day except Mother's Day this week. And Saturday, I'll be online, 8:30. So you guys can catch me then. It's not a crazy stream. I'm not really going into any like details right now. It's just base code, so unfortunately, you guys just caught me base coding these. Thank you, Lucky Lou. I appreciate the freaking follow. So, but I do want to say thanks to everyone, man. It's always a blast to have you guys. Lee Man Roos, I will be back. I always feel bad. You always catch me right at the end. So... yeah, I made a video recently about Lorgar being a better War Master than Horus. I gave some supporting arguments. Go check it out. Join me in the chat. And we will talk about that later. If you guys have any recommendations on content you want to see, long form or short form, hit me up on Discord. Hit me up in the... anywhere, really. And let me know what you guys got, and I'll try to make it happen, all right? So... I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up. I want to say you guys are all awesome. Get your plastic models painted with me so that way we can get rid of our backlog and fill it up with more. And I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow, all right? Everybody, if there's nothing left for me, I have nothing left to say. So I want to say thank you, peace, and good night.